All right, everyone. Welcome to our weekly market overview. Sa mga hindi pa po nakakaalam, what we do here is we look at the index, the PSEI, from a higher time frame perspective para lang to help us paint a bigger picture of what's going on. And at the same time, tinitignan din po natin yung mga sectoral indices in an effort to, again, look at everything from a bigger picture perspective, but at the same time, to help see kung meron ba tayong pwedeng gamitin as confluence for our trade ideas and plans moving forward. Okay? So as always, magsisimula po muna tayo sa PSEI and then we'll move on sa mga sectoral indices and we'll be starting off with the weekly chart. Now, essentially sa PSEI, medyo boring pakinggan, but nothing happened. Minsan parang shortcut pwede mong tignan lalo na from the higher time frame. You can see na etong PSEI, ito yung high of last week, ito yung low of last week, and essentially price just traded within it. Alam na kaagad natin that nothing really happened, nag-range lang tayo, and wala. Talagang it was a kinda boring week. Okay? We ended the week slightly lower than how we started it, but at the end of the day, nothing really happened, no? Now, what we say from before remains true. What we want to see from here, number one, is mabasag na tong 7475 to 75 area para mag-open up tong wider range above, no? Kung kunwari naman mag-pull back down, mabasag tong 6771, then we likely see further downside heading lower towards possibly 6080 again. Okay? Now, para lang mas may detalye, tignan po natin to sa daily chart. So, sa PSEI, kung titignan natin, yun nga, sabi natin nun, there was the possibility na mauntog siya dito sa supply zone natin. And when price did move up, despite the very, very brief, quote-unquote, breakout from that zone, we have more or less stayed within it. Okay? Now, using this, ang pwede natin tignan is at the very, very short term, ano yung mga pwedeng mangyari? First, kung mabasag tong mga minor lows na to, hindi naaagulat kung balikan natin yung support dito around 7.1. Kung mabasag yung 7.1, mag-open up tong range na to hanggang 6.9. Pero, kahit alin dun yung mangyari or kung mangyari man yun, overall, we're still within this wider range here. 'Di ba? Kaya lang natin talaga ayaw makita mabasag yung 7,000 or 6,900 kasi if it does so, it opens up number one, this range beneath, and nasira na tong range na to, and it's gonna look a lot more bearish. Okay? Opening up this range, yung 6,900 to 6,700 area, medyo delikado kasi possible na price moves down, tests it, ayaw, breaks back down. Then, either, yun nga, matrap muna tayo dito, pansamantala, or kung nabasag yung 6.7, baka mas malalim na yung hukay, balikan natin itong mga previous lows from before. Okay? If sabihin natin, mabasag naman to, itong mga 7.3 na tinitingnan natin, hindi pa rin tayo super bullish. Bakit? Kasi resistance is right there at 7.475. We still want to see that level break para maging mas bullish tayo. Break 7.5 opens up itong area na to, targeting 7.891 next, then 8.2. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying na 8,000 tayo this year or 9,000 tayo this year. And then there's some people saying na bumabaksak na yung mga S&P 500, Nasdaq, what have you. So, babaksak na rin tayo. But para sa akin, rather than ride the doom and gloom train or rather than ride the hype train, tingnan na lang po natin yung mangyayari and take things as they come. Expecting something na wala naman sa control natin, na kahit anong gawin natin ay wala naman tayong say, wala naman tayong hawak, almost always just leads to heartbreak Kunyari, nag-breakout nga, pero di naman siya nag-breakout enough para sa'yo. Malungkot ka pa rin. Diba? Pag nag-breakdown, malungkot ka pa rin. So rather than anticipating all of that negativity, let's just wait and see what happens and then we react accordingly. Kaya natin ginagawa rin itong mga weekly market overview natin. Right? Next, diretso na po tayo sa mga sectoral indices, no? Starting with property. Now, property, same thing, no, as the PSEI. As you can see, titignan nyo, again, shortcut, week high from previous week and then week low. We're just trading within it. We're raging within it. So, essentially, not much happened. Yes, mas negative siya tignan compared do sa PSEI, if only because mas malalim ng konti yung red candle dito. But, essentially, walang nangyari from last week. 'Di ba? So what we said from before remains the same. If mabasag natin tong 3459 na area, that opens up this range above hanggang 3866. And if mabasag natin tong 2908, then that opens up the range beneath hanggang 2569. Sa mas short term, kung mabasag natin tong low na to, that's at 3,059, no? Let's just say 3,000, then highly likely we come back and revisit tong support na to at 2,9, and then we see from there kung yun nga, mabe-break and marirevisit yung range below, or mag-hold ba siya, and if it does hold, what we do from there. Okay? Overall, still sideways / kinda bearish pa rin ako dito sa prop. Nothing to be too excited about just yet. So let's wait and see what happens in the weeks to come. Next, tignan po natin yung hold, no? So yung holdings, again, similar sa PSEI. Don't worry, hindi ito yung sasabihin ko sa lahat ng chart, no? Kaya inuna ko na yung mga medyo pareho sasabihin ko. Ganon din, we are trapped in the previous week's high and low. So again, not much has happened. Still kind of sideways yung bias. Even if, again, we break out sa high na to, okay, itong high na to, we need to remind ourselves na pwede pa rin tayong mauntog dito sa resistance at 7614. However, if mabasag natin yun, that does open up this range above hanggang 8,182. Itong entire range na to na mas malaki, mas madali siyang isegment dito sa holdings. So if we break below tong 6670, test it from underneath and it holds, then we push lower. Then likely we come back and visit yung support natin around 5850, 59 na area. Okay? So, overall, sideways pa din. Diba? Some people would argue na sideways / bullish if only because we are trading in the upper bounds of the range. But for me, it's still more sideways than anything. So, again, exercise more patience. This might give you an opportunity to buy dips or whatever sa mga paborito nyong holdings na pangalan, no? So, try lang po natin maghanap ng confluence, try natin maghanap ng opportunities na pasok sa system or sa parameters na gamit natin to trade. Next, tignan po natin ang INDU. Industrial. So, itong industrial, we have been raging in this area here. Diba? Tapos, sabi natin noon, we want to see price break above 10,621. Diba? Ang nangyari, nag-close tayo at 10,616. In fact, we broke 10,621 briefly only to close slightly beneath it, no? So, expectation natin from here, what we want to see is wala na sana ganong pullback, or kung pullback man, shallow lang. Mga hanggang dito, pwede siguro, no? Sana mag-breakout na. Kung ma-break natin tong 10,6 na area, then that opens up this range above. We might come back and revisit tong double top na naiwan dyan, or even higher dito sa 11,168. If, however, ma-undo tong move na to, nauntog tayo, then we push back lower, then baka ma-revisit naman natin yung support at 10,065 na area. And if that breaks, this range beneath opens up hanggang 9,740. Okay, but this is a good candle in the sense lang na it gives more hope for next week rather than doom and gloom. Sana ma-break na, at kung na-break, sana tumuloy na tayo to the upside, 'di ba? At kung mabasag pa yan, then next is targeting these highs left from before. Next, tignan po natin yung SERV. Yung SERV naman, again, we're still trapped within this range here, not within the previous week's range, but nakasama ng konti, meaning bumaba tayo from previous week's range, which heightens the possibility that we do revisit support at 1,900 na area. But as I mentioned before, maaari kasi nagpo-form lang yan ng top, we roll over, come back dito sa blue zone, okay? And if may confluence yan sa mga pinagkakainteresan nyo na mga service na mga pangalan, then maybe that could be an opportunity for you to buy on quote-unquote dips. Diba? If this area holds, push higher, then we want to see na ma-break tong high na to para tuloy pa rin yung uptrend. Diba? Siyempre, textbook definition ng uptrend is higher high and higher lows, no? So that's what we want to see here. The other thing is, of course, yung paborito na lahat is we just break out. Nagko-consa tayo, we just break out, break above tong 2062 na area, then possibly come back and revisit these highs from here. However, if we break below tong blue zone, I think this starts to look a lot more bearish na. We might come back and revisit it here or this wider range here. We don't know yet. Diba? It's gonna look a lot more bearish. So, if that time should come, I'm sure na mapag-uusapan po natin to muli. Since linggo-linggo naman, tinitignan natin to. Next, tignan natin yung mini. So, nagkaroon ng brief excitement sa mini, no? Dahil nga na-lift yung band and everything, diba? So, price pushed higher. We broke out, came back to this previous range. Okay? So, for now, we are holding above itong level of previous resistance na to. Tanong, can we hold above it? If we can, then this range will be in play. That's from 10,073 hanggang 10,900, no? And if mabasag yung 10,900, 11,469 yung next. However, if we start trading beneath it again, baka maging parang ganito. Balikan lang natin ulit tong bottom end ng range, then I will be forced to admit na baka hindi lang ito yung basta range niya. Baka talaga itong malaki na yung nagiging range niya. We'll have to readjust our view. We'll have to readjust our perspective. But until that time comes, for now, I maintain na we were in this range. We had an overshoot. We came back, broke out again. So now we want to see it start holding above here and hopefully break to the upside sooner rather than later. If it does come back, comes back to this range, kung mabasag natin tong 9,016, then that opens up this range naman beneath all the way hanggang 8,066. Okay? If that happens, then I don't think that a lot of mining stocks are gonna look very bullish at all. Alright? So sana, hindi naman yun mangyari. But for now, bullish naman yung nangyari. We broke out, we held, we might consolidate here a bit before price decides what it wants to do. Hopefully, ganun nga yung mangyari. E mabasag natin tong 10,904 sooner rather than later. And then finally, tignan po natin yung financials, no? So yung financials, sabi natin, we wanted to see price break above this area here. And we did this week. Finally, no? We broke above it here. So the next thing that we're looking at is baka ma-fill tong gap na to. And kung ma-fill yung gap na yan, ano yung mangyayari? Kung na-fill yung gap na yan, tapos na untog, nag-roll over tayo, as long as we don't fall beneath tong area na to ulit, so let's say bumalik, test underneath, wag naman ganun, no? As long as we just kind of stay within this bound, more or less, then I think we can try to push higher, possibly coming back to tag tong 1,964 from before. Although, obviously, it's not gonna happen in a few days, no? But, yan yung nag-open up na range natin. If, sabihin natin, nag-breakout na nga tayo, and everything, pero binalikan natin, we break beneath this candle again, test it from underneath, mag-hold, then we push lower, then ang nangyari is possible na overshoot lang to, and babalik lang tayo sa trading range na to. Pag nangyari yon, then for the foreseeable future, baka mag-range lang muna yung mga financial na stocks, no? So again, we don't know what's gonna happen, but let's just be happy, kumbaga, be hopeful na nagkaroon tayo ng breakout of sorts dito sa financials and hopefully enough momentum has been gathered para tumuloy siya na mag-carry on. Alright? Na mag-carry on tayo and we can start pushing higher, reaching towards tong 1964 eventually. What type of structure develops in the meantime remains to be seen. But, basta based on this week's close, we are more bullish than bearish dito sa financials. In fact, we're quite bullish, no? So, hopefully, tuloy-tuloy na. Okay? So guys, dito po nagtatapos yung video na to. I hope nakatulong po to sa inyo kahit papaano, no? And may natutunan kayo. And as always guys, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!